Yo, peep this. You just clicked on Let's View It, and I'm Tyrone Cross. Welcome to my channel, so you already know. Let's view it. 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 What's up, real ones? Welcome to Let's View It. And if you know, you know. And if you don't know, well, But if you could do something for me, I would really appreciate it if after this video, if you enjoyed yourself, if you like my style and my very serious professional presentation, if you like my feng shui, or maybe you don't like me at all, will you please subscribe and help support me in this channel? Support Let's View It so I can get my voice and my message across the YouTube platform. Thank you kindly. Now let's get into this video. In this video, there's a lot of stupid people on TikTok. Whether it's transgender craziness, fake autism craziness, or traditional craziness, TikTok brings them out. Somehow this app makes the stupidest people feel really smart. So smart that they think they need to turn on their camera, record their smartness, and share it to the world. I'm not sure what the Chinese put in this TikTok app to make everybody feel so profound. But you know what? I love it because it gives me unlimited material to talk my shit. And since TikTok is responsible for creating all these crazies, I'm gonna start calling these videos, "What the fuck are they TikToking about?" So you already know. Let's view it.
I'm sure you keep hearing people saying, oh, we should ban gender-affirming surgeries because of the regret rate. So many people regret getting gender-affirming surgery. That is false. 1% of the trans community regrets getting gender-affirming surgeries. The regret rate for having children is higher. The regret rate for getting married is higher. The regret rate for tattoos, knee replacements, any surgery in general is significantly higher than the regret rate of people getting gender-affirming surgeries. Gender-affirming care and gender-affirming surgeries are life-saving. Please stop listening to false facts. Those false facts are usually spouted by cis people who have no idea what they're talking about. Turn to trans people. There are many of us out there who are giving you the correct facts to listen to. Y'all come to our pages and tell us we need to get help. Well, that's exactly what we did. Gender-affirming care saves lives, and we will continue to fight to make sure every trans person has access to it.
That dude is a gaslighting expert. One thing I notice about transgender gaslighters is they don't use the same perception and arguments that they use for them against them. Let me give you an example. If we say there's barely any transgenders, it's only like 1% of the population, so what's the big deal and why is this shaking the whole world and why do we have to keep talking about it and focusing on it? What do the transgenders say? What, 1% of the people don't count? It's still 1% of people, but now when it's 1% of transitioners that regret transitioning, all of a sudden the transgenders are, it's only 1%. Another way they don't keep the same perspective is when we say transgenders are growing in numbers because you're making it more popular through media, through TikTok and things like that. They say, well, actually, it was because we were scared to come out and now we're just braver and willing to come out more. But they're quick to say only 1% regret transitioning. Well, I'm here to say, well, actually, it's higher than that, but most of them are scared to come out to their own community because you guys treat them with hate. And then he gaslights even further by saying people regret other surgeries more. Knee surgeries, shoulder surgeries, all these surgeries that people try to get to improve their body because of wear and tear or injury. But for some reason, he failed to mention that those surgeries are done way more. There's way more people with knee surgeries, shoulder surgeries, and things of that sort than gender-affirming care surgeries. Gaslighting. And one more way they don't keep the same perception is they think it means the whole world to keep the transgender 1% population happy. But for some reason, they don't care if 1% of their own community is unhappy.
It drives me absolutely bonkers when straight people try to claim that queer things are not queer because they just don't see it as queer. One prime example is this very sweater that I'm wearing. Every single time I wear this sweater, in one of my videos, I've worn it quite a lot. I get so many comments from other lesbians being like, oh my god, where'd you get your lesbian flag sweater? I want that sweater. It's so cool. It's from H&M, by the way, but I got it last year, so they probably don't still have it, unfortunately. But inevitably, the replies to these comments will say things like, that's not a lesbian sweater. That's not a lesbian flag. That's just really pretty colors. Like, it's not a gay sweater. I bought this sweater because it looks like the lesbian flag. I was immediately drawn to it. And straight people just, they don't get it. And that's okay. It's not for you. It is not for you. Flagging is not for you. But then they get offended when we say, no, it is flagging. This is the lesbian flag. Like, we wear this to flag to each other. And they're like, no, that's not valid. Respectfully, stay in your fucking lane, okay? If we want to say that this is flagging, it is flagging. It is. This is a hill that I will die on, but when queer people say that something they do is queer, it is not your job as a straight person to tell that queer person that what they're doing is not queer. If I'm queer and I'm telling you that something I do is queer, it's queer, okay? You don't get to have an opinion on if it's queer or not, okay? We're gonna stop that. We're gonna stop doing that.
Just like you don't get to have an opinion if it's straight or not, or if just a regular ass person wants to wear that sweater. See, what you really need to do is stop acting like there's something so special about being queer. Once you do that, everything else will be smooth. You won't be trying to claim sweaters. You won't be trying to make things specific to yourself to feel special. Now I get how a certain group of people like lesbians might see that as a lesbian sweatshirt. Fine. If someone's not lesbian and doesn't see it that way, get over it. You really think now the rest of the world and all these ladies have to agree with you that that's a lesbian sweater now because you're so adamant about it. Too bad, so sad. They don't see it that way. So if two straight women are wearing it, are you going to assume that they're lesbians? If you see any lady wearing it, are you going to assume that she's a lesbian? I hope not. Let me give you a better example. Maybe you can understand this way. Gangbangers, right? I got the color blue on. Well, to a gangbanger or Crip, guess what? I'm flagging. Now, if that gangbanger came to me and told me I was flagging, I'd be like, nah, I'm just wearing a blue sweatshirt. Am I supposed to now let that gangbanger control all blue sweatshirts, all blue everything because they see it that way? No, of course not. And unfortunately, the gangbangers are smarter than you because they understand that people that don't gangbang don't see the blue as a blue flag. It's just the color of the sweatshirt. I don't even know if that was a good wink or why I make that noise when I do it.
This comment is why I do not listen to people who say that people just want to be autistic because it's trendy. The general public does not like autistic people, and that is a sad thing to come to terms with, but the general public doesn't like autistic people, and they don't think that having autism is cool. It is still incredibly stigmatized and underdiagnosed. The mistake that allistic people commonly make is thinking that all autistic people don't want to be autistic or that they are ashamed of their autism. When if you're like me and you spend a lot of your time interacting with other autistic people, you're really proud of your autism. And that's not to say I don't struggle every day because of my autism, but just because I struggle with something doesn't mean I can't be proud of it. It's part of who I am. And because it's part of who I am, I get really insulted when people think that they're complimenting me by doubting my autism. It's not a compliment. It's extremely invalidating of all of the things that I've been struggling with for my whole life.
Since when does the general public hate autistic people? Since when? Listen closely. I never met anyone in my whole life that hated someone because they were autistic. Not only that, I have never even heard of the thought or idea of hating someone because they're autistic, except from fake autistic people. That's the only time. And of course, we don't think it's cool to have autism. Either you're a cool person or you're not. You're not going to be cool just because you have autism. And secondly, why the hell are you proud to have autism? You could be proud, but not because you have autism. Be proud because, I don't know, you're a good person, but that's probably not on the list. So be proud because, I don't know, you're a good coworker, but that's probably not on the list. So be proud because, I don't know, you're a good friend, but that's probably not on the list either. So be proud of the fact that you always stay positive. You know what? I'm starting to get the picture now. Just be proud that you fake autism.
We don't use the word normal to describe the majority for obvious reasons that have to do with, respect and equality and not marginalizing people. For example, when you discuss race, there are labels for all of the races. We don't call Asian normal just because that's the global majority. When you talk about eye color or hair color, you don't call brown eyes normal eyes or brown hair normal hair. Normal is not a synonym for cisgender just because the majority of people are cisgender. Calling the majority in terms of these demographic labels normal very obviously contributes to, oppression. And lastly, being transgender is not a mental illness.
Let's start with what you said last first. Being transgender is a mental disorder. It's called gender dysphoria. How can you believe you're in the wrong body and not be crazy? But secondly, get over the word normal. All that means is more often. If I was in an Asian country, I would say it's normal to see Asians there. If I met a Mexican that told me he hates tortillas, rice, and beans, I would be like, you're not a normal Mexican. All normal means is most common, what occurs more frequently. That's it. Like normally, men don't chop off their ding-dongs. Whether or not it's negative or positive wasn't discussed. You imply the negative yourself because you feel negative about it. That's what happens when you're lacking self-confidence. When you don't have confidence in yourself and you look to the outside to try to gain it, you're going to have issues.
No way you're for real right now. No way you're asking how heterosexuality is forced on people. No way. When literal straight conversion camps exist.
What the? Straight conversion camps exist? Really? That sounds like my kind of camp. If there's any time to be gay, I guess it's now, especially if I get to go to the straight conversion camp. I can just imagine how they're going to try to convert me. I hope it has to do with an abundance of areolas and labias.
Kids are threatened with violence if they show tendencies of being gay by homophobic parents.
When? Where? Who are these parents? I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but they act like it's a 50-50 chance. But what I can say is I never seen a TikTok video of it, and these guys secretly record everything, so you think it would be easy to secretly record or capture on camera these so-called parents being violent, aggressive, and showing hate to their kids because they showed a little sign they might be gay.
Churches call it evil and encourage parents to rout this wickedness of homosexuality out of their children. It is forced by parents, it is forced by the church, it is forced by peers in social groups. For decades, you could get fired for being gay. For decades, you could be denied health insurance for being gay. People were rejected from every piece of their society. It was criminalized.
Now he's talking in past tense, so all that part doesn't even apply anymore.
And all of those ideas are still in the elder generation, forcing their younger kids to be straight, even though it doesn't work, because we're not straight. And eventually we come out of the closet. And you know what? I bet a whole lot of queer people are in a situation similar to me, that it wasn't until my dad died and the threat of his presence was gone that suddenly I felt safe coming out of the closet. And it is because of this backlash of force that queer people must survive in the face of that we are proud to be who we are. We are proud to have survived in spite of a society and a culture that tried to force us to be someone else.
He's missing the mark. What he's talking about as far as the gay people and his dad and other people's families, he's talking about personal experiences within his circle, not society. When he walked out the door, went to the store, no one else cared that he was gay. Maybe his dad cared. Maybe his dad didn't even care. Maybe he was just scared that his dad was going to care, and maybe his dad would have took the info better than he thought. Who knows? But what I'm saying is that's not a society thing. That's a personal life thing. That's a family thing. Some parents are racist, so kids have to grow up with racist parents. That doesn't mean that all of society is pushing racism. Man, I'm really good at this stuff, ain't I?
Yeah, no problem. I got you. See, here's the difference. Because existing as a human being who just happens to be a part of the LGBTQ community is not the same thing as a religion. One is an existence, the other one is a belief system. So, stay with me here. People simply existing is not pushing beliefs because it's not a belief. It is a literal existence. And then on the other hand, a belief system is something that you yourself uphold. It is something that you yourself believe in and therefore should not be forced upon people who don't believe in the same thing. See the difference? One is a human right of existence in safety, with inclusion, with representation, and with education. And the other one is a belief system that seems to change day by day according to which version of it you read and which person you talk to, that cannot be forced on other people. So learning that a certain group of people exists versus trying to force people to believe what you believe.
Huh?
I can do that too. I'm not even a Christian.
One is a person existing in the Christianity community, and the other is a belief system. Got it?
It's the same thing. Christianity has a belief system to it. LGBTQ has a belief system to it. Christianity has people that exist in it. LGBTQ has people that exist in it. But what the LGBTQ stands for is not their existence. And I'm tired of them saying, you're trying to deny my existence. If we're debating if you're a girl or a boy, that means we acknowledge that you exist. If you go shopping and the clerk gives you back change in a receipt, that means they know you are there. Agreeing with something that you're questioning about yourself is something completely different. And the reason why I say you're questioning it about yourself is because you need people to agree. Once you know something about yourself, you no longer care if someone else denies that fact or agrees to that fact, because it's still that fact. Now, when it comes to the existence and acceptance of the LGBTQ, we let you guys live and exist. You guys can get married. You guys can have kids. You guys can take care of yourselves. You guys can take medication. But as soon as you want to take advantage of it and you want to take advantage of women or make things more unsafe for women, whether it's sports, whether it's their private areas, and we as a society say, no, that's going too far because that's not what you really are, then all of a sudden, guess what you guys start doing? You go to your belief system and you start trying to make us believe that a trans man is a real man or that a trans girl is a real girl. That's the belief system part. The fact that you think a trans woman can join women's sports and doesn't have an advantage is the belief system part. So yes, you won't push that belief until you don't get your way. And on that same note, a Christian doesn't necessarily push Christian beliefs. You can run into a Christian at the park or at the grocery store and you guys completely talk about something different that has nothing to do with their belief. But I'm sure when you finished this video, you were like, damn, that was good.
Do you want to know why people think this? Why people ask this question about if trans women should be allowed to shower naked in shared changing rooms with girls and women present?
Well, I think I already know, because naked women don't want to be around naked men in the showers. I'm just taking a shot in the dark.
Because you would look at naked women and naked girls in the changing room. Because normal people that are not obsessed with another human being's genitals, aren't looking at naked bodies in the locker room, in the changing room, in the showers. Not to mention that there are literally curtains in individual stalls, and the only way to see a naked person in the locker room is to open the curtain and peep in. And the reason that you're worried about that happening in changing rooms is because you would do it. Because the only reason to even have that as a thought in your brain at all would be because you would think about doing it. But normal people don't think that way. Normal people are not looking at people in the locker room.
Did he just say normal? How dare him? We don't use that word. Normal. Hypocrites.
At all. One bit. I don't even notice when a man is taking a shower in the men's locker room. I don't even notice when men are getting changed in the open part of the locker room. You want to know why? Because I'm not obsessed with or interested in looking at other people's genitals. I would talk to your therapist about this if I was you.
So since she's trying to be a man and play the man role, is she claiming she wouldn't notice if a woman walked into the shower naked? Because that's what the issue is. As a man, if another man walks into the shower, I notice him, but those type of senses don't go up. But if a woman walked into the shower, trust me, all kinds of spidey senses are going to go off. Because that's what we're talking about, right? A trans man, which would really be a woman, walking into the men's changing room, or a trans woman, which would really be a man, walking into the woman's changing room. Not the same sex. But let me touch on his ignorant comment about how we care because obviously we want to look, because we're not normal. We all remember junior high. The first time in junior high, that's when they started making us shower in PE. And instantly, everybody got nervous, right? Because it's natural to not feel comfortable to be completely naked around strangers. That's a natural feeling, whether you want to look or not. That's a natural human feeling. We grow up being told to protect our bodies, to cover our bodies, to have privacy when we use the bathrooms. Then all of a sudden, you're out in the open. We all been through it. I remember having the towel, putting the towel on, making sure I never take the towel off until I could slide my boxers on first up under it. Then I would take the towel off. And it had nothing to do with me wanting to look or not wanting to look. It had something to do with me feeling vulnerable because I don't want people to see me. And sometimes it's not even about private parts. Maybe someone doesn't want someone to see their stomach. Maybe they feel they're fat or something. You don't know. Maybe they feel they're too skinny and they don't want people to see that. Maybe they don't like the way their feet look. It could be anything. It is natural to feel vulnerable when you're naked around strangers. And for this dodo not to understand that is completely ridiculous.
Let's talk about something that's inherently lesbian-phobic. For example, when straight women or queer women or any woman refers to one of their friends as a girl as their girlfriend. Boys don't do that. Let me show you the difference. So like imagine I'm a girl. I am. Okay, I'm a girl. I'm gonna go get my nails done with my girlfriend. I'm gonna go get some brunch with my girlfriends. Me and my girlfriend just got back from shopping. Okay, now listen to this. Now I'm a man.
Me and my boyfriend are playing basketball today. Yeah, I just grabbed some food with my boyfriend. Me and my boyfriend were chilling today at my house.
They don't sound the same. Because even in queerness, the patriarchy exists, and we will validate the term boyfriend as an actual romantic term for two boys that are in love before we're going to validate two women. Have a good day.
She's lucky she has that face, because without that face, she has nothing. She comes out the gate and says, you want to hear something lesbian phobic? Lesbian phobic is not even a word, because it doesn't exist. Lesbians have always been loved. Even back in the 80s when they said gays were hated on, not lesbians. Everybody loves lesbians. ELL. Lesbians lower dad's stress by a lot. But let's get to her stupid comment. The reason why girls call their friends girlfriends and we take it as their literal friend most of the time is because there are way more girls calling their friends girlfriends than there are lesbians calling their girlfriends girlfriends. It's that simple. And then on the other side, guys never call their friends boyfriends. Never, ever, 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 ever. The only time a guy's gonna say someone's their boyfriend is if someone's their boyfriend. And just because your face looks like that doesn't mean you have to stop using your brain. So that's the video of TikTok bringing out the crazies, and they got me saying, what the f they TikToking about? So now that you know, the reason why people don't want to get naked in showers with strangers is because they want to look at their genitalia. All I need you guys to do is comment below. Tell me what you think. Are these some of the most ignorant people you have ever met? Or do you just feel bad for them because TikTok got the best of them? But while you're telling me your thoughts, I'm also going to need you to hit that bell like the Hunchback. Also click that hit checker button and sub ride with me. And I'll see you on the next trip.
Day and night. Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. All my life. Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. Can't help I keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.